Testing, 1, 2, 3. Welcome to the Splashes, Great Britain versus Australia in the ultimate virtual sailing showdown. I'm Mark Jardine, Managing Editor of SailWorld.com and YachtsandYachting.com, and I'm delighted today to be joined by Nick Douglas, the Sailor Girl, who will be adding more than a little colour and texture to the commentary today. Nick has sailed her whole life, is a 3-time world champion, has won 2 Olympic-level Grade 1 events in women's match racing, while on the Australian Sailing Development Squad, training for London 2012, and has been crowned national champion over 10 times in various classes. It was only a matter of time before Nick combined her 2 loves for broadcast and communication and sailing in her own company, following on from her successful blog and social networks. Adventures of a Sailor Girl or Sailor Girl HQ on social media. Nick is exactly the kind of cool and calm commentator we need when we get up close to the action, as you'll see in this video.
Oh, gnarly job! On to starboard there. There might have been a port and a starboard incident there between Santiago and the British team who are trying to get around their bow. Look at this to the left here. Sorry, this is fantastic, phenomenal. Oh, excuse my language! Oh my gosh, they got across the finish line though. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry for swearing, guys.
So Nick, thank you for joining us today and broadcasting to your huge group of followers. How excited are you to be part of this momentous event?
Oh, I'm so excited to be joining you today, Mark. I think it's going to be absolutely exciting and great to see these guys getting out on the water, so to speak.
Well, it's fantastic to have you here. So we've got 2 great teams lined up with Olympic medalists, America's Cup winners, and many world and European and national champions. So let's take a look at the teams. Representing Australia are Tom Slingsby, sailing as T-Slingers in virtual regatta. He was the laser class gold medalist at the London 2012 Olympics, part of the 2013 America's Cup winning team, skipper of the winning Australian team in Sail GP Season 1, 3-time Laser World Champion and a reigning International Moth World Champion. Tom Burton, sailing as T. Burton in Virtual Regatta, is the laser class gold medalist at the Rio 2016 Olympics and 2-time Laser World Champion. Kyle Langford, sailing as Blood Eagle in Virtual Regatta, was part of the 2013 America's Cup winning team and the winning Australian team in Sail GP Season 1. Matt Chu, sailing as Chu Oz 08 in Virtual Regatta, is a 2-time Etchells Australasian champion and helmed to 3rd place in the 2018 Etchells Worlds. Ted Hackney, sailing as Verticoli 88 in Virtual Regatta, worked with Oracle Team USA, is on the technical team for the Australian Sail GP team and was part of the Black Swan Racing World Match Racing Tour team. Representing Great Britain are Luke Patience, sailing as Wee Pearl in Virtual Regatta, was the men's 470 class silver medalist at the London 2012 Olympics, 470 European champion and, his most prestigious title to date, winner of the Lockdown Cup e-sailing event. No doubt he's currently eating a haggis sandwich for breakfast, with mayonnaise. Ben Saxton, sailing as Saxtondale in Virtual Regatta, is a NACRA 17 world and European champion, represented Great Britain in the class at the Rio 2016 Olympics, and is a 6-time Endeavour Trophy winner, the UK Champion of Champions event. Stuart Bithell, sailing as Biffmeister in Virtual Regatta, was men's 470 class silver medalist while sailing with Luke Patience, and is a 49er world champion, as well as sailing on the Great Britain Sail GP team in Season 1. Sam Whaley, sailing as Whale X in Virtual Regatta, is the current ILCA national champion. That's what the laser is now sometimes known as, or the Kirby Torch, or the Weekender. I lose track. Johnny McGovern, sailing as Johnny McBoatface in Virtual Regatta, is the British Sailing Team 470 coach, has coached 3 420 teams to world titles, is a 470 World Cup silver medalist and currently sails an RS 200 with his wife Sarah. Okay, there are our teams. So let's get a quick word from our captains for the day, starting with the Great Britain team, Luke Patience.
Hello.
Welcome, Luke.
Thanks.
So what are your thoughts going into the racing today?
Well, I've just found out I'm the captain of the team, which I didn't know. But I understand the Ashes is an England against Australia thing. So being the Scotsman here, I'm not sure who I'm actually going to support.
That's great news.
It's going to be a laugh. I think this is the first time we've done an overseas race, so I'm looking forward to seeing what the Aussie boys can bring to the computers. They're good on the actual water. Let's see if they're good on the cyber water.
And Tom Slingsby, captain of the Australian team, what are your thoughts? This is your first live stream. Are you confident going into today's racing?
No, not too confident, unfortunately. Yeah, we haven't really played much, and I've got together a few good guys who have done a bit, but for me, I'm not very good. So confidence isn't high, especially when I heard that the Brits train all day, every day. But yeah, we're just going to give it a crack.
I'm wondering if that's a bit of gameplay there. So we'll see when we actually get out onto the race course how things are. So the format for today's racing, we've got 3 races. We'll be alternating between Portsmouth and Sydney Harbour, with a toss deciding who gets to sail at their home venue in the first race and the last race. The first 2 races will be held in J70s, with the final race happening in the F50 foiling wing-sailed catamarans for a bit of excitement. And the scoring, it'll be the total score of each team, and whoever is the lowest score will win the Ashes today. or the splashes, as I should really call them. And
Copyright.
Exactly. And I'm delighted to say we have one of the great English cricket Ashes winning captains to do the toss for us. A man who scored a series total of 474 runs in the 2009 Ashes, Sir Andrew Strauss. So, Tom Slingsby, as Australian captain, it falls to you to choose heads or tails, deciding whether the first race and the last race will be held in virtual Sydney Harbour or Portsmouth. Heads or tails, Tom?
We'll go with tails.
You'll go with tails. Okay, let's see what Andrew's chosen.
Okay, hi there everyone. Andrew Strauss speaking here. And welcome to the Splashes, where Australia's best sailors are taking on Great Britain's finest. I am assuming in true Ashes tradition that the Great British sailors are going to romp home and win this. But now is time for the all-important coin toss. The winner of the toss will be able to choose their own virtual venue, either Sydney or Portsmouth, and up goes the coin. I've dropped it. The coin has come down as a heads.
Oh, how do I go into spectator mode?
So, we ended up with heads being chosen by Andrew Strauss. Sorry, Tom, you chose the wrong side there. So we're going to be starting in Portsmouth for the first race. And everybody is just lining up at the moment. So I'm going to switch across to gameplay. Now, Johnny, if you can tell me when you've got everybody on board. I can see at the moment, it looks like, yeah, all 10 are in the game at the moment. Nick, have you managed to get to the commentary mode?
I am coming in right now, sir. I'm watching. Here we go.
Brilliant. In that case, Johnny, shall we go into the sequence here?
Yeah, here we go, lads. We're ready to go.
This is the first race. We're racing in Portsmouth. And Nick, what's it like to see Portsmouth in such beautiful conditions? It's not often we have the sunshine like we've got today.
I was going to say, usually I'd be wearing my full offshore kit in Portsmouth. So what a glamour day to be out on the virtual water. Mind you, I'm in tracky pants right now. Home officing is actually quite fun. Okay. Oh, look at all these English. The Englishmen have managed to get their lions and their roses onto their sails. That's some team coordination for you right there.
Now, in between race 1 and 2, we will actually be broadcasting a few good luck messages from some sailing legends. So we'll be looking forward to that in between the races. 24 seconds to go now, and the fleet is lining up.
Good to see that there's an English panda on one of the Britain sails, Saxton. Ben Saxton there with the panda.
Yeah.
He's had the panda on his sail for all of the live racing. 5 seconds to go.
5.
Here they are lining up.
And Johnny McBoatface, I believe that's Johnny McGovern. We've got somebody over. It's one of the Australians. I think it's TB. Yep, Tom Burton was over. Oh no, he's returned.
And so at the moment we have Brits in a 1-2-3 with Luke Patience, winner of the Lockdown Cup, in the lead, followed by Whale X, which is Sam Whaley.
Sam Whaley, yep.
And
So I've got Sam Whaley, Chew, Johnny McGovern, then Wee Pearl, which is Luke Patience. A Wee Pearl. That's awesome. Then Red Mist.
So a great start for the Brits here, Luke. You must be really happy with the situation so far.
Yeah, it's good, eh? I'm just kind of trying to still get my bearings on who's who around this course. But we're all navy blue. Also, pipe down with that English stuff there, Nick.
Oh, I'm sorry about that. You know, we've got to get a bit of banter going. Before the race, everybody, you didn't see it, but in the chat that we had before the race started, there's already been a few comments about ball tampering. So I'm just sticking up for my Aussies here. We're waiting for the cross between Whale X and Chew. Chew's going to hold Whale X all the way out. Sam Whaley all the way out to this left-end ley line, I think. It'll be interesting. Here we go for the tack. And he ducks. Chew dumps on top. It's a race back to the right-hand ley line.
Now,
We've
I'm on
got
board with
Pearl.
Red Mist here.
Yeah.
And Red Mist is one of the names which seems to have changed, actually, before and after. Am I guessing that our Australian captain has changed his name on Virtual Regatta here? Tom?
Bringing the ranger back.
Yeah, that is me. I can confirm that.
Well, currently in sixth.
Oh,
Very
no.
tight situation here.
We just had
brutal.
Slingers take out his own teammate Chew there. That was not well played.
Oh, Stu, you've tapped on me.
Entertaining though.
Really tight racing there. And the Red Mist has been moving up the fleet while we've been looking at him here from 6th to 4th place, trying to mix it up with those leading 3 British boats. Tom, what are your thoughts so far?
Can I cross there?
I'm pretty loose. I'm just sort of freestyling here at the moment.
Pretty loose
Sam
going
Whaley
into the
just got
Windward
a-
mark.
Yeah,
And
Sam
we are-
Whaley just got a penalty from Saxton there, Jardine. So we've got a bit of English on English action there too.
Oh, it's just great that this team cohesion that we're seeing here was all over the race course.
It all started with Stu tacking on me. Oh, I
Oh,
wasn't
we've got
there.
Mark
Tackle
track.
anyone.
Race 1, and we
Bethel.
already have arguments within the British team. This is not
Here,
great.
Bethel, mate, we might need to get these sail flaps on possibly soon.
Oh. Stewie Bethel, meanwhile, leads around the top mark. We kind of missed that bit.
Really tight racing going around the Windward mark and the hitch mark, and they're heading off down to the leeward marks. And the course will be down to the leeward marks, up for the second beat, and then down to the finish.
Don't worry, Sam, you judge.
Oi, lads, how good are we at maths here?
It's race 1, just go.
Take it on.
I hope Christian Birrell's watching this, Luke.
Yeah.
We're
We've
on
got,
board now with Ben Saxton. That's Saxton Dale, who is in 4th place. The top of the Australian teams is Verticoli 88. That's Ted Hackney. So, Ted, how are you going to persuade the rest of your team to get up into the mix here?
Oh, look, we're just going to throw a few spanners in the works here and see how we go. At the
Okay.
moment. It's gonna be hard, but I've got some skilled individuals around me, so hopefully I can drag them to the top.
Well, it
Excellent.
sounds like a few spanners in the works. Usual Ashes tactics going on here.
Oh, brilliant bottom mark rounding by Ben Saxton there. But in the lead at the moment, we've got Stu Bithell, then we've got Patience, Hackney, Saxon, Whaley, Slingers, who is beating his tactician, Tom Burton. Then Stu's got a penalty. He must hit the bottom mark there. And Johnny
Who's their
McGovern.
best sailor here?
Oh, who knows? Well, I think that's yet to play out.
And Stu, you've got into the lead, but it seems you took out a few of your teammates in the process. Happy about that?
We need to look at the replay on that. Saxton owes me an apology, I think. I didn't tack on anyone.
Okay, we will
Don't
take
worry,
a look
we'll
at the
be
replay
racing
and
back
see
here,
what
guys.
the truth is there.
Bloody
I'm
hell,
still a
Carl
bit of a
Langford
team race
bringing up the
mode
rear.
here.
And there was, another penalty for Saxton Dale. So maybe,
Oh, no, I
maybe
gave
you've got
a
a bit of a
penalty.
point.
Oh, I've tacked on someone. Sorry,
Uh-oh.
Johnny. Boys, do any of you want to drop back and tack on Red Mist?
Oh, a
got
bit of
1,
team
2, and
racing
3.
going on here.
Oh, yeah, we've got 1, 2,
I
and
disagree,
3
guys.
is,
That wouldn't be a good
British
move.
now.
You don't want to mess with me.
Okay, fighting talk. The
I'm
red
fine.
mist
The
is
red mist.
definitely falling. And a nice little position.
I
where
will do
you've
it
just-
downwind then.
Now Slingsby's doing the Aussies proud. He's moved up to 3rd. Only Aussie in the top 3. Come on, Aussies. We've got this.
Oh,
We're coming into the top mark. Anything can happen.
and here Saxton Dale has forced him off. Really tight
Oh.
racing. Really great work by Red Mist there. Got the timing of that tap absolutely perfect. Now this windward mark is going to be another close one.
Big lead here to Bithell. 24 metres back to Mr. Patience. Then we've got Ben Saxton. It's only 4 metres between Ben Saxton and Red Mist. It's close.
This midfield
the
is
top
going to be
mark.
tight going into this windward mark.
Oh, Here we go.
3 boats coming in on port. Oh, there's going to be
Hackney's
penalties
inside.
aplenty. Penalties
Oh.
aplenty here.
Saxton and Slingsby get a penalty. Meanwhile, Hackney's back in the lead for the Aussies in 3rd place. Burton in 4th, making big gains here. Back to Whaley, Saxton, and Slingsby's penalties now just come away. Big bear away there from Mr. Hackney Jibes. Oh no, another penalty to Whaley.
Sam Whaley just picking up a penalty there.
Can't be
This is
losing
really
a 1-2
giving it to
flick.
the Australians. What a comeback this is in this race.
Nice.
But we've still got both Stu Bithell and Luke Patience out in the lead. Decent lead going into the leeward marks, or into the finish line.
90-metre lead to Mr. Stewie Bithell.
Let's go on board with Stu, coming down towards the finish line. Feeling
Yeah, I was
pretty
a little bit
confident there.
nervous then. The women mark, my teammates were somehow messing it up, getting penalties.
Yeah.
I was starting to think whether I need to go back and help them, but it looks like they've sorted it out, and looks like we're in a strong position as a team. So I'm going to keep going all the way to the finish.
Beautiful
Meanwhile-
view of the Portsmouth skyline there, the Spinnaker Tower in the background, as Stu comes down to the finish line to take the win in race 1. With Luke
Hometown
Patience
advantage.
just behind. Hometown advantage. Of course, the toss deciding Portsmouth for the first race. And there he is. Stu Bithell finishes the first race.
Not
Here
far
comes
behind is
Weepearl.
Luke Patience and then Tom Burton. He will be the first to finish for the Aussies. Only 70 metres back to Slingsby. Then Sam Whaley, Chew and Hackney are quite close there.
Nice.
Sam Whaley
Big recovery
just
from
taking
Chew.
4th place there.
Nice
There's
work.
an
Saxton's got a
absolute
penalty.
madness going
Oh,
on.
dual
Yeah.
penalties to Chew and Saxton on the finish line. Yikes.
And,
And,
so here are
Mr.
the
Carl
results of the
Langford
race.
comes in last.
Just
Nice
confirming the top 10. We'll just take a look at the analysis of the races before we go to our good luck messages.
I wonder who did the most jibes.
Can we unmute Kyle Langford? Because I have never, ever heard him so quiet in all my life.
Right, so what we're going to now do, we've got a few sailing legends who wanted to pass on their messages to the sailors just on this momentous occasion.
G'day, John Bertrand here. Splashes, I love the idea, and Australia taking on the world, particularly Great Britain. Tommy and the boys, good luck. As the Americans would say, go kick some ass.
Hi, Ian Murray here. I'd just like to wish our test team going into the slashes tonight, splashes tonight, all the best. I know that Slingers has been hitting sixes in the nets. Kyle's been hammering the bouncers down. TB's been niggling behind the wicket. And watch out, Poms, they're coming.
Hi, quick message to all those taking part in the virtual Ashes. Hope you all have a great time. Have a fantastic match. Keep that Brit-Aussie rivalry and camaraderie going. And of course, I hope the Brits come out on top. So do us proud, boys.
Who's going to shout out? Just
Okay, we are setting up for the second race here. We'll just switch across so you can see the fleet now in Sydney Harbour. Everybody's just joining the game. There you can see the Opera House and the bridge in the background. Nick, what does it feel like for this home race?
Oh, I love being out on the harbour. Nothing like it. I still remember the first time that I actually saw the bridge in person. It's not quite the same when you're watching virtually, but we've got a great group of racers here, so should be all on. The Aussies have a bit of space to make up on that leaderboard.
And Sarah, who's doing the results, could you just give us a rundown of the top 10 in race 1?
I can indeed. So in 10th place was Kyle Langford. In 9th place was Ted Hackney. In 8th was Johnny McGovern. In 7th was Ben Saxton. In 6th was Matt Chew. In 5th was Tom Slingsby. 4th was Sam Whaley. 3rd was Tom Burton. 2nd, Luke Patience. And 1st was Stu Bithell.
Brilliant. Thank you very much for that, Sarah. And Tom, it looked like overall the Brits had the upper hand there. Do you think the Sydney home water advantage is going to help in race 2? Slingers, you there? Well, how about let's get Tom Burton then. Tom Burton, can you give us a little bit of words about now sailing on Sydney Harbour? Is that going to give you a bit of home advantage?
Yeah, we've just got a little secret chat going on the side, and I was telling the lads that hopefully we'll be able to pick a shift this time because we can have a little local knowledge, hopefully.
Brilliant. Well, looking forward to it. Have we got everybody in the race there, Johnny?
Yeah, we're all good. 10.
Okay, let's go into the sequence for race 2 of the splashes.
Fantastic. And just on social media, everybody that's watching, thanks so much. Big shout outs from Lucy Hodges MBE. She's cheering on Johnny, who's one of her past coaches and has done a lot to help blind sailing in the UK. Lots of messages cheering the UK guys on. I'm not sure what the Aussies are doing, but lots of people loving the commentary too, getting on board with these fantastic sailors. Mark, awesome work putting this together.
Well, Nick, it's fantastic to have you here joining us in the commentary for this. And to get this set up, it's always a bit last minute, but just great fun that we're even able to do this at this time of lockdown. So, yeah. Loving it.
Yep, and sending out thoughts to everybody who's locked up and been in a difficult spot. Hopefully this is bringing a little bit of fun to your day. So at least it's 5 o'clock or after it here in Sydney, so in Australia, so we can have a beer in a minute, maybe for the last race.
Yeah, it was definitely a case of waking up the British team for this. Just 15 seconds to go now as we go into race 2. Beautiful day in Sydney. Looks like a very, very tight lineup.
Yeah, who's number 9? We've had a change of team name. I think that must be
Saxtondale, another penalty before the start. And also one for Slingers as well.
I think
what
it's
a
actually
tight fleet. Oh, a couple of boats going back.
Ooh. All right, we're off.
What a tight start. And again, in the lead, we had the Wee Pearl for a bit. There we go. Upwind. And Saxtondale, after a penalty just prior to the start, working his way up into first place, it would seem. So, Ben Saxton, what happened there just prior to the start?
It's just positioning. And then the penalty only lasts 10 seconds, so that's fine. Now I'm just going right because there's got some people going right. Although I think wind's left.
And Kyle, there were a few comments that you were a little bit quiet in that first race. Can you give us a few words as to, just fire up the Australian team? No, he's muted at the moment.
No, he can't give us a few words. He's concentrating there. Don't you try and distract my team there, Mark Langford. But look at them all here. We've got 3rd, 4, 5, 6 and 7 as Aussies. That's a marked improvement on the last race. They're working their way through as a block by the looks of things. Green versus blue now. Much more uniformed.
A much tighter race. So this home advantage, this racing on the Sydney racecourse is already paying dividends, it would seem. And it looks like Wee Pearl. Oh, Tom Burton now moved up into 2nd place. Very tight between those top 4.
Oh, and he's into first. Go TB. Legend. Slinger's just off his hip. It's all good here. We're going to come back. Don't you ever doubt these Aussie battlers, Mr. Jardine.
This is quite a comeback after race 1. And the final race of the day.
Saxton and it's tight between Saxton and TB here. Mark, this could be an interesting top mark rounding.
What is going to be very interesting is the boats coming in on port tack going into this windward mark. We've seen penalties galore as they come in. So with 2 Australian boats coming in on the starboard ley line, we would think they would have the advantage there. So let's take a look. We can see there Saxtondale going across and Tom Burton together with him. This is going to be tight.
Beautiful virtual views there of the Harbour Bridge and the Opera House. Here we go.
Okay, coming in tight. Oh, just squeezing in there, Tom Burton. Well done.
And then,
beautiful windward mark rounding.
Beautiful tack there. Hikes it around, then back to Saxton. He's feeling very at home here on his Sydney waters, Mr. Tom Burton. Back to Hackney. Then Kyle Langford. He's killing it compared to the last race. Oh, and we got penalties galore amongst Patience, Whaley, and also Slingsby, who's just dropped back about 100 metres with those penalties. TB still leading the way. Nice
Superb tight racing in this one. Great to see.
I don't think anyone wants to talk to us, Mark, because they're all concentrating hard. This is serious business.
The concentration levels have definitely stepped up. People are realising this is serious. And the battle up front, where we look.
Oh, look at this driving duel between Saxton and Ted Hackney here. Big driving duel coming down the middle with the Panda. You might be able to see.
Absolutely incredible racing. The light blue shadows that you see behind each boat is the wind shadow. And there you can see that is Ted Hackney just putting a really good cover on Ben Saxton to overtake him.
Yeah, Hackney's just managed to get across and over his bow. No major luff from Saxton. They'll drive in and go for the right-hand turn, probably around this bottom mark. Here we go.
1-2 for the Aussies here. What a comeback after race 1.
Nice work. Oh, nice mark rounding there from Ben Saxton. He immediately tacks off the hip. But it's Tom Burton, Ben Saxton, then it's Hackney, Sam Whaley. Oh, it's close between Slingsby, Patience, and also Bithell there. It's all on.
This really is a tight race. It seems that after that warm-up in Portsmouth, the Australians did not like the idea of going down to the Brits. So this comeback is exceptional.
It is exceptional.
I think we're hearing that Slingo and also Kyle Langford are struggling with internet connection at the moment. So that's not looking good for our team, just for the commentators there.
Okay, well, a little bit of internet connection issues does happen, sadly, in virtual regatta every so often.
It does. I'm not sure if anybody's played virtual regatta seriously, but you can be going up the work and I haven't played it seriously either, but you can be going up the work and all of a sudden you're at the top mark, not at the top mark, at the top mark, not at the top mark. So it can prove to be very difficult, much like a ferry coming right across your path in Sydney Harbour. So it's interesting, but it looks like we've got them 600 and now 800 metres behind. So that's not looking good at all for Slingsby or Kyle Langford.
It is the virtual equivalent of gear failure happening on the Sydney Harbour racetrack.
Well played, Mark Jardine. But meanwhile, Tom Burton is out in front with Hackney in second, Ben Saxton in third at the moment. So the computer says it could all change depending on who's got the right of way at the top mark. Let's go and have a little bit of a look.
This is really tight coming into the windward mark. Tom Burton, a great lead, but just behind, we've got a huge battle going on between Ben Saxton and Ted Hackney there. So this is really going to decide. Here we can see the Brits really up there. So it's going to be, it's going to be very, very tight.
Massive lead to Tom Burton. Hackney in second, doing it for the Aussies. We've lost Slingsby by the look of it. He's actually dropped out of the race. Kyle Langford and Chu at the bottom end of the scorecard with Tom Burton, Hackney in the lead, Whaley, Saxton. Then we've got Luke Patience, Bithell, and Johnny McGovern / Johnny McBoatface. I love that name. I think that is hilarious. It's quite apt actually for Sydney Harbour and Bodie McBoatface, the ferry.
Johnny, it's not hard to work out how you came up with the name for that boat. But good bit of humour going on in the game, and you must be enjoying the position that the Brits are in, even if it is down to a bit of gear failure on the Australians' behalf.
Yeah, loving it. We're loving the Aussies being back there with the gear failure.
But we've still got Australia in 1-2. So let's go on with board with Ted Hackney in second place. It does seem you've got Brits all behind you, and then your final three in 8th, 9th and 10th. Anything that you can do at this stage?
Oh, just working on it right now, trying to get past Saxdale. He's putting up a bit of a fight.
Go on, Saxton.
I'd be throwing any gear I could at the other boys.
Oh, Saxton is getting aggressive.
He's got the cover right on him. This is
and the other
exactly
guys might get across you.
Oh, so tight.
Oh, penalty.
Unbelievable.
I went right into him with the penalty.
Go on, lad.
Oh.
Go on, lad.
I didn't really know what to do there, mate.
How did that happen?
I'm sure that would go down well in real life. You just lost half your boat there.
Come on.
He did a great job for me down the first run, so I was just repaying the favour.
As to how you got away with that, I do not know, Ben Saxton.
That was a 2, 3, 4, 5, lads, in the end.
Nice. It was.
Oh, nice work.
What a change at the end. Ted, I'm sorry to distract you then at the key moment. Really am sorry there.
Oh my gosh, look at that difference in placing. Unbelievable. Went from 2nd to 6th just on the finish line there, Hackney. Yikes.
When we look on the racetrack there, we can see there the final mark. Ted Hackney, Verticoli 88, just dropping from 2nd to 6th in the last few seconds of the race.
Saxton, I think you owe him a few beers there, Saxton.
Yeah, I think I do.
Nice one, Saxton Dale. That was a team saver, that, mate.
Wow, what a race. This puts the Great Britain team in a strong position going into the final race. But this time we are going to be racing in F50 catamarans, the wing sail catamaran, so the pace is really up. And we've got some real experts, the Sail GP Season 1 champions with Tom Slingsby, Carl Langford, all regular racers of these, but racing in Portsmouth Harbour. So Tom Slingsby, internet failure in that last race must be really disappointing. What are your thoughts?
Is he back?
He's definitely there.
Tom's still having some internet problems.
Okay, let's talk with Tom Burton then, who's clearly the now the vice captain for the
Interim
team.
captain.
Interim captain.
Interim captain in the absence. We can see the red mist at least out on the race course. So hopefully this means he's at least got his virtual regatta setup going.
I better come.
Yeah, the red mist is actually setting in, I think, a lot. So
oh, no. Oh boy.
And this F50
Oh no, I've
racing...
just been booted.
Oh no. Wait, I'm only just coming in. Okay.
No.
Tom Burton's just been booted off. We're not in a sequence yet, are we?
No, we're not in the sequence yet, so we can get all back into the racing.
You've got time, Burton. You've got time.
Our team's asking, is this race last race double points?
Ooh,
I think it might need to be double points.
Yeah, should it be like a medal race?
This race is unless we have complete agreement from the British team. Luke, I'll ask you. Luke, would you be happy with double points?
Let's make it interesting.
Well, listen, if I think we've got a pretty commanding lead at the minute with all that's going on. So I reckon in the spirit of keeping it exciting, let's go double points.
Well played, sir. Well played. Gentlemanly behaviour.
Sarah, have we just thrown a massive spanner in the works for your scoring?
No, But I think the Aussies are going to need the double points to catch up. So let's do it.
Yes.
Okay.
I think it should actually be a bit like Super Sunday, and it's just the final race wins. You don't win the regatta unless you win the final race. Brits are obviously pretty confident, so it's good to see you can put their money where their mouth is.
I like a bit of a wager. Come on, I'm on board with this. If that's what the team wants, that's what the team should.
We're going to have a double points final race.
Right. I tried. Just sticking up for my team, Mark. Just sticking up for my team. Good times.
So, Johnny, have we got everyone on the racetrack here?
Yeah, we're all good. 10 races on the water.
Fantastic.
Let it rip.
Well, let's get into the sequence then. Just 45 seconds in this sequence and boundaries in play as well.
Is it the same as the SailGP course as well, Mark? We've changed courses.
It is a reaching start and then across to the buoy. And I think then it's a downwind leg. Johnny, you can probably run us through the course better than I can.
Yeah,
I think that's a good idea, seeing as we're changing courses. Sorry, Johnny, off you go. Sorry, buddy.
Yeah, same as the SailGP. So reaching start, downwind, and then an upwind gate, a long downwind, back up, and then a short downwind and a reach finish.
Perfect.
Double points. The final race, sailing in the F50s, which of course Tom Slingsby, Carl Langford have huge experience in. Let's see if this can mix things up.
Tommy Burton out in front again. Chew in second. Then we've got Patience, Sam Whaley. Penalty between Tom Burton and Chew. Then we've got the
46 knots into that first mark.
Sam Whaley jibes first. He's out in front of Tom Slingsby, bringing it home hard.
Whaley, go left so I can go right gate here.
Yeah, got it.
The Red Mist in second place here.
Oops.
A little bit of team tactics going on there over the Zoom chat as well, which is superb to see. Both Sam Whaley.
I just had a shocker there.
Yeah, you did at the bottom. I saw it.
Yeah, my internet cut out, and oh no!
Gear breakage to the wee pearl.
Oh man, that's a shocker at that point in time.
Here we are, just going across on starboard tack with the Red Mist.
See you, Bethel. Bethel's just had he's just had one on the way out to the right-hand side.
Mate, you and I have crumbled when it mattered.
This could be all change in this final double points race.
Come on, lads.
Indeed, it could be. Come on, lads. Yeah, come on, you can do this.
We had one there.
Quite a tricky course, this one, because you've got the exclusion zones in play as well. So where you're going to attack and where you're going to bear away, and getting up on the foils is absolutely critical. Sam Whaley leads out to that right-hand ley line. Then Chew, Tom Burton, Slingsby, Johnny, and Saxon are super close. Then Bithell, Hackney, Patience, and then Langford and another Aussie rep just sitting there watching, Austral. I don't know who that is, but there's an 11th boat just sitting there watching, which is quite
a windward gate in the F50 racing, so the choice of those windward marks, and we can see there Sam Whaley, Whalex leading down the run. Huge lead now.
Langford's now 3.5 kilometres behind. I think he may have dropped out again. See you, Langford.
That's good news. That's good news.
Yeah. 3.9 kilometres. Yeah, I think he's gone. Yep.
A mere 4 kilometres to make up.
Whaley, Chew, Slingsby, Burton, Saxton, McGovern, Vithel, Patience, Hackney, Langford out the back door. Going well. About to come around the bottom mark. Here comes Whaley for the left-hand turn. Boom. Oh, and an immediate tack. Ooh,
Matches straight behind.
Ooh. It's Chew. Then Burton, Slingsby's got a penalty. Slingsby at the bottom mark, unfortunately, I think, is what that penalty looks like.
The Red Mist has fallen again.
Oi. Big lead here too. Sam
Everybody
Whaley,
going right up to those boundaries, trying to use the maximum width of the race course.
Tacks are super slow in the F50 because you do come off the foil for quite a long time. It's been quite interesting watching some of the racing in the past few weeks, just seeing how the guys that are I don't know how people have the time that they have to get into the top rankings on this game, but all the more to them. Unbelievable amounts of time spent at their computer working out how to get these boats going quickly and the best strategies for each racetrack. Whaley leads.
Another penalty for the Red Mist.
Uh-oh.
Tom Slingsby. I'm pretty glad we haven't actually got him on audio right now.
Likewise, but hopefully he's got a beer in his hand at least. All righty. We've got Whaley rounding the top mark. Left-hand turn straight onto starboard there. And he'll go all the way to the boundary for coming back to that reaching mark. Choose in second, then Tom Burton, Bithell, Johnny McGovern, Slingsby's back up in sixth, Ben Saxton, Patience, Hackney with a penalty, Saxton with a penalty. These guys seem to like to fight it out, Hackney and Saxton. And,
really tight racing in the mid-fleet going into this windward mark.
Unbelievable. Hackney's got another penalty. Hackney and Saxton getting into each other. And Whaley takes the win.
Yeah.
Brilliant win there for Sam Whaley.
Nice work.
That's really going to help on the double point scoring.
Yep. Tom Burton's across the line.
Tom Burton, that's a good second place for Australia.
Oh, nice
Third
work.
place.
And Bithell, Johnny McBoatface, and the Red Mist. Patience and Saxton. Nice work. Nice work, guys. Nice work.
Fantastic tight racing.
That was a total mess.
I wasn't going to say that. I like to be positive. It was good fun, though.
The racing in the F50s is certainly fast, but chaotic it certainly is too.
Who's the Blood Eagle? Because they just did the whole race having not rounded the lures.
Yeah, that was Kyle Langford. That's why I kept saying he's like 6 kilometres behind now, guys. Oh, boy.
I think when we look at the race legs chart, we can see everybody just completely up and down the fleet. We can see the Wee Pearl started first, ended up last for a while, and then moved up to 7th.
That was a wee glitch in the system, in the matrix.
A little wee glitch in the matrix, but first, last, and 7th, and pretty much everything in between. Tom Burton as well, we can see, started in 2nd, moved down to 8th, moved up to 4th, and then finished 3rd. It's huge number of changes. So huge amount going on in that race. Incredibly difficult to follow with so many place changes, but good to see. So Nick, crazy and chaotic racing, but how do you think it's going to have ended up when Sarah's compiled the scores, Nick?
Well, I think it would be pretty tough for the UK to lose at this point unless there's some results being tampered with.
No, never.
But I think that perhaps the Brits are showing that they're spending a lot of time on their computers. We've actually still been allowed to sail during lockdown. Not that I want to rub salt in your wounds.
Well, don't worry. Boris has just lifted it in England, so beaches are open.
Yeehaw.
In the UK, today is the first day that we are officially allowed to go back on the water. It is small steps, and everybody needs to make sure that this is done in a conservative and safe manner, and that we're not putting the rescue services to any kind of risk during this time. But it's fantastic that we can get out in the water, and for once the UK is actually enjoying good weather and a decent breeze.
Oh, it would have been awful for you guys if it had gone a little bit sour on the few days that you had come out, but I bet that you would have been keen to go anyway, that's for sure. We're just looking at the results now, I think, actually, Mark. Can you see them there?
I haven't got the results up, but Sarah, could you run through?
They're on WhatsApp, I think. Go, Sarah.
Okay, so going into the last race, the Brits or the English and Luke were on 44 points, and the Aussies were on 66 points. So I'm not going to tell you the points yet, but I'll go through the top 10. So bringing up the rear in 10th was Langford. In 9th was Hackney. In 8th was Saxtondale. In 7th was Slingsby. In 6th, McGovern. 5 was Patience. In 4 was Chew. In 3rd place overall was Bithell. In 2nd was Burton, and the winner was Sam Whaley. And that brings the point to...
Well played.
So the English and the Scot were on 94 points, and the Aussies on 126.
Oof.
Oh, nice work.
That's a little bit of a thrashing.
So
a landslide.
The first Splashes title goes to the Great Britain team, or England and Luke, as it's been renamed.
We might have to have a rematch, fellas.
I believe a rematch. Well, I can't see the Red Mist accepting that and not wanting a rematch. So hopefully the Splashes 2 will be held. But Luke, as our non-English and non-Australian competitor, but the captain of the British team, can we have a few words, please?
Yeah, well done to the English. It was a total mess, as expected, especially the last race. More penalties there than I've been commentating some wee oppie sailors and stuff. There was far more penalties now than there were in that. So it was the mess I'd hoped it had always been. So it's great. And for the rematch, I would like to request that we get to do the evening time for the Brits and the morning for the Aussies.
No. You don't get any more advantages, fellas. No more.
I think we can hold it a little bit later, maybe, so that it's evening for Australians and maybe just say 10 a.m. for the Brits.
So that Ben Saxton's been out of bed a little bit earlier and doesn't take out his his morning person out on
Yeah, we
Hackney.
thought he wasn't going to turn up.
And Tom Burton, as the spokesman for the Australian team now, would you be up for a rematch of this?
Yeah, I think the guys are already been saying that we want to have a rematch. So the guys definitely aren't happy that their internet was playing up. I think a few of them will be going to invest in a new internet provider. And but I think the biggest thing is we need to give Kyle Langford a bit of a kick up the arse, because coming last is just unacceptable. So
no, you're right, TB. It's obviously a disappointing result. Unfortunately, I've been doing real sailing and not too much time on the computer, but I'll work on it over the next week if we can get a rematch from these boys.
Yeah, nice work, Carly. I did say that a little bit earlier, that I didn't want to rub salt in their wounds, but they've obviously been playing a lot of this game and they're a bit on fire. So we'll see. We'll bring it back bigger and better next time. It'll be all right.
So, Nick, your thoughts on what we now know is the Splashes round 1?
The Splashes round 1, I'm looking forward to the rematch. Let me just say, just quietly, I'm also very happy that we can all actually get out on the water now and we can share what we've been up to down here in the southern part of the world while you guys have been locked down. So I'm really happy that you've progressed to that part of the COVID issue that we've had that none of us expected coming into this year. So I hope that everybody has enjoyed tonight and had a little bit of fun, because that was the aim of the game.
Brilliant. Well, thank you to Nick Douglas for adding so much to the commentary today. Behind the scenes, we've had a lot of help from John Curnow, the Sail World Australian editor, Tiani Whitty, aka Side Nick, Alistair Dixon, Sarah McGovern, Dave Hyvey, who I owe a beer or 10, Andrew Strauss for the coin toss, the sailing legends John Bertrand, Ian Murray, the big fella, and Ben Ainsley for recording their good luck messages. The team at Virtual Regatta for developing the sailing software, which we've all been enjoying during lockdown. All our sailors today. And of course, thank you all for watching. While we'd all prefer to be out in the water racing, the virtual sailing does give us another avenue to share our passion for the sport. So this will be by no means the last of our forays into live stream virtual sailing. And it looks like we've got the Splashes round 2 coming up. So watch this space. Thank you.